Hello and welcome. I'm Tim and this is SV Paquita. And yes, I'm coming to you from the forward head in Paquita. It's not what you're thinking. I've got my shirt off because I'm sweating. It's so hot. We're still on the hard. And Chrysalida and I have been working for 3 weeks and we've got all kinds of stuff done and I'm getting ready to leave. And tomorrow I get on a plane and meet up with our tugboat on down in Jacksonville, Florida. So I gotta go. But before I did, I wanted to show you this. Look, I put a pilot light on, and if you hear that noise, what that noise is I put a gulper pump in so that when we pump the water out, we don't go into a little holding thing, you know, a little float bucket thing sort of thing. They don't have that. The hoses hold enough because if you look, you will see, I have a one there, and one over here. So there's enough hose to hold enough of the shower water. The problem is that there used to be down in here, got this open right now because I'm fiberglassing down there, but there used to be well, you can still see it. It's there. I've just taken the screen out. There's a screen, you know, a filter, and that would get clogged with like belly button lint and that sort of stuff. And this gulper pump, which you can see right over here, put that in. That thing's supposed to be able to pump dental floss through. And I know about this because they did it in, they changed it over in Delos and they liked it. Done some, you can see we're doing some work here from all the stuff, but that kind of light down there, that's fiberglass. So if you ask what's going on with that, the boat originally had a Raymarine electronics on it, and they had a through hull with a transducer there. When I bought the boat, the previous owner had got rid of all the Raymarine stuff and put a complete Garmin suite in, and so I went and they just left the other transducer there. So while we're on the hard, we had the time. I figured it'd be time to get that old plastic transducer out there, glass over the hull, and that sort of stuff. So we've been doing that. Everything's all ripped apart here, as you can see, but this is the big thing. Notice, now granted, got water on here and all this. This is all, this used to be a chart table, and I've taken the chart table out. I've put it in storage, and I thought it was glued and screwed, but it just screwed all the way in. We were able to get it out. Thanks, Island Packet Owners Association, Hayden's Facebook page there. You guys got me gave me the encouragement to keep working on that. Pulled that out. I'm gonna have to replace all this because whoever was putting in the electronics before I got the boat actually cut in. I have this is my Victron. Well, it's popped in here, but anyway, this line right here, they went over and cut into here. Why they did that, I think it's because they put this too close over here. Anyway, I want to replace all this and make it look nice, neat, and that sort of stuff. But that's down the road. Why did I take the chart table out? I took the chart table out for a couple reasons. The first was that I wanted to, Chrysalida wanted a washing machine. She doesn't need it now, but when we go around the world, that's definitely something that she wants to have. I had a problem with, if you remember, I have two 300 amp lithium batteries underneath the settee right here, and when I measured it, there was room for 3, but the problem was I didn't count on that the corners are rounded, so you can't get the battery all the way up to the edge. So I was only able to put 2 in. I put another one back there, and I'd already put my inverter back there, and so the battery and the inverter share the same place. It wasn't a big deal because you don't use a large load for a long time. What the problem was if I was running the generator or plugged into shore power or whatever, and I started charging through the inverter a lot of heat would build up over there. So I actually used the Victron thing to have you can see I have 4 different temperature monitors there. When the battery space got hot, or the inverter space got hot, it would click a relay and it would start pumping. You can see I started to build a grill over here. Everything's all messed up. But right over here there was a grill where it would start pulling hot air out of there. And as much as that system worked, and it worked automatically, I didn't like it. It's another point of failure. It also wouldn't turn on until it got hot. So it'd be nice to not have a problem at all. So I really think that the way I use the batteries and the way I use the inverter, wanting to charge as quickly as I can, that sort of thing, I really had to bring the inverter out where it would be able to get better ventilation. So I brought it out over here, and I did not cut that hole. Somebody that was there when I removed the chart table, I found that nasty hole over there. But anyway, I did cut a few holes over here so that I brought those 3/0 wires over to the inverter, and then the 10 gauge for the AC in and AC out, and that runs all underneath and over there. But since I had this space over here, and since this is out now, I was able to buy a third, and you can do it if you do it within roughly a year of themselves. I bought another lifetime lithium-ion 300 amp hour battery. So now we have a total of 1200 amp hours. So it's a theoretical 16 kW, probably more like about 14 the way I run it, because I don't run it all the way dead. You can, but there's allegedly nothing wrong with that. But anyway, if I had the space, I figured I would use it, especially because we remember last year my friend and I rewired our board, so not only can we make hot water with the batteries, but we can also run the air conditioning all night long. And we could do that when we had 900 amp hours. So the extra batteries will help. And listen, before anybody goes crazy in the comments, yeah, no, I'm very, very much aware. Adding batteries is just giving me storage. It's like putting a bigger gas tank in your car. The power still has to get there, but that's where I'm going to show you the next thing. So that's something that we've been doing. What else do we do in here? Well, you can see I've got a Watermaker that I've been putting in. A friend of mine, Courtney from Cape Ann Towing, bought a boat, and it had a Spectra Watermaker in it, and he gave me that, and these are some of the parts from it. I put the Clark pump in the back and already hung that, and I bought a Xeon, the Xeon, I guess you could say freshwater filter for it. Anyway, the idea is that if you're using a Watermaker, you have to use it at least every 5 days, or you have to flush it, and every 3 to 5 days. And if you don't want to do that, you can pickle it. If you remember, I go to sea for 3 weeks at a time. So with this, when we flush with fresh water, the filter inside apparently takes out the chlorine in the water that might damage the membrane, but the electric part puts ions of silver ions, I don't know, something like that. See if it works. Anyway, that supposed to put that in the system, and you're supposed to be able to not have to flush the system again for 30 days. Yes, there are automatic systems that you can have that do it every 5 days, that sort of stuff. This is a very old and smaller system, so if it only produces 6 to 8 gallons per hour, and you know, it's a 12-volt system, and if it only does that, and it takes you 3 gallons to flush the system, maybe even 4, you've got to run it for an hour just to break even anyway. So I think that I'll be running it for a long time. But and there is something that I found out. It wasn't a 150, it's a 200C with a 40-inch membrane. So it came with a pump, and we're looking into ordering a second pump. Apparently you can put 2 pumps together. The membrane's big enough that by adding more volume at the same pressure to the Clark pump, if the people in Florida, they're really great. If you're in Florida and you have a Spectra Watermaker, you know these people, they're awesome. Anyway, they're doing research to find out if the Clark pump will be able to handle it. But the sweet system would be to have 2 pumps, not only for redundancy, but when you do it, if I have that, it'll go from 8 gallons an hour to 16 gallons an hour. And Lord knows I have plenty of power with the 170 amp alternator. When the generator's running, we can charge at, over 2 kilowatts. So that goes well. And then we used to have 1100 watts of solar. Well, we still have 1100 watts of solar, but that's due to change. So I'm trying to think of what other projects we did here that I can show you, but most of this stuff is underfoot anyway. But let me go up here. You can see, oh, this is something that's kind of cool. Everything's a wreck. And look, if you say, what have you done to your boat? this is what happens when you have a shipyard period. Anyway, so my friend, a different Sean, my RVing friend Sean, told me about these really cool sensors, and I'd seen them before, but they would magnetically connect to a steel propane tank. But they have these new ones for aluminum tanks, and I put it underneath there, and it goes through Bluetooth, and all the data comes up on my Victron system, and you can have it so that when it gets down so low, you know, whatever percentage of the tank you want, you could tell it, and it will go, and you know, it has a little ultrasonic thing in there, and it does it through the level. And so when I'll probably set mine to like 20% or 30%. When it gets to 20 or 30%, it'll send me a text or an email. That's kind of cool. You can see, well, before we get out to the other stuff, this stuff, one of my friends who is working on tugboats now, but used to work on white yachts, Chester. I don't think Chester watches these silly videos, but if he does, he told me, I'm familiar with All Grip, and All Grip has been it's pretty much the gold standard for paint when it comes to marine stuff. But this all wood stuff I'm not familiar with. And let me just show you. This is, I don't know if this is going to show up, but this is this Sea-Toll stuff, and you can see it back there. And I hate it, and it's been peeling up, and I can't stand it. Somebody said to me, and they said this a while ago, and I thought it was a brilliant line. They said, Sea-Toll makes your boat look like an old fence post. I thought that was very accurate. Anyway, Chrysalida, bless her heart, went and she got used the heat gun. We're not even plugged in, just using the heat gun all day long on these batteries. Barely even touched the batteries. It's like 1100 watt, 1200 watt heat gun. But anyway, she took everything back to bare wood, and oh, look how beautiful this is. Now she's doing this right over here. And so yeah, she had to sand everything down. It's been out for a couple days, so there's some dust on there and that sort of stuff. But yeah, so she stained it, primed it, and then put 10 coats on. And you can see this over here. Oh, look at it. And then you can see this is where she stopped for now. But she's got the wood all peeled back until the old Sea-Toll over there. So that's that. We've got our staysail and head sail sun covers. Had Mac Sails put new sun covers on them, and they were down in Florida. They shipped them up to my friend Runa. You can see here's some upside down solar panels. Oh, Chrysalida is getting at it again. Say hi to everyone, Chrysalida. Hi. Okay, so look, we used to have, because of the double backstay, we used to have a 430 watt panel that would sit in between there. And then we had a 200 watt panel here and a 200 watt panel there, and then a 100 watt panel here and a 165 watt panel over there. But look at this monstrosity over here. Once again, I got to get through all the shipyard disaster over here. So this is an amazing tower in a box, and I hope to be doing another video about this. These guys were great, and I gotta say that the engineering involved with this is phenomenal. How they can get one thing to fit so many boats is amazing. I have seen videos online of people putting these up and having them, having to put bars down to keep them from swaying back and forth. I can get on this thing and swing like a monkey. I can't get it to move an eighth of an inch. And if you just follow their directions, they say that you need to pre-tension it 5 inches. I think we did 5.5 or whatever, and so we really had to crank in on it, and the bottom ones were real tight. And then we put base plates in and backing plates underneath, and where it wasn't level, we filled that in with epoxy. And then I've got this big dinghy lift over here, and then what you don't see yet, but I also have a crane that goes on the side of this to pick up the engine, and that's up at Rick's house right now. We got that done. And then if you remember, my old dinghy davits bent this, so we had to cut this off because it was bent, and then get a piece that would fit in here. And I just have that. I'm leaving this here for the welder. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm. There we go. See what we're pointing to. But while I'm away, the welder, there's a guy who keeps his boat here, and he's going to come by and put this in there, get the two together, and do all that. And that'll be great. So I'm all excited about that. And then show you some other stuff that we did here. Put a new stern light on. That was a problem that I had before, where I switched to an LED light and it was so bright couldn't see anything because it would reflect off the dinghy. So I got another LED light, but it's more the old style. So we took the old auto prop back, ground that back, went and re-greased each one of these and put new O-rings in all the grease things, changed out all the grease there, and new zinc. And we have to, I've got prop speed all ready to go, but I was going to put the prop speed on now, but I figured it would be better. If you're looking at this, you know that this is how this goes. That when we go and we put the boat in forward to lock the transmission. It's funny because a lot of boats you see online, they always put them in reverse, but I guess it matters which transmission you have. You put ours in reverse and it still goes in reverse, but if you put it in neutral, I mean if you put it in forward when the engine's off, it'll lock it. And then these will all go like this, and they cruise through the water, you know, with the least amount of interference. And then if you drive ahead, they go like this, and if you back down, they go like that, and they work really well. So anyway, we got that greased up, we got all that taken care of. You can see the hull here, and I've got, it's funny, I bought all this stuff. I bought a new buffing machine. I bought a whole bunch of different wool pads for compounding, waxing, and buffing. I bought all the different pads for that, and we gotta acid wash this to get that clean. And then I saw a couple Mexicans down here cleaning the buffing, and they did such a good job, and they were all happy because we're all listening to the same music, and we're speaking Spanish with them, and had a few cocktails when they got done with them. And they're going to come by. They were going to do it right away, but I said, look, after they come, because tomorrow, well, it just happened to be that tomorrow the soda blasting guy's coming, and he'll build a tent around this and take all this down to the gel coat, and then we'll barrier coat it and then put the copper coat on. But you can see we put on new zincs in the bow thruster. And then if you look over here, this is it looks awful just because you're seeing it mid job right now, but this was the bottom of where that through hole was. And you know, you got a hole like this, and then we epoxied with a core in the middle of it, and then we put one bullseye, and then a bigger bullseye, and a bigger bullseye, and all that. And so we got that all the way out, and then we did the same thing on the inside as well. And so once that's still kicking off right now, I probably won't do this one right now, but when I get back, you can see my grinder there. But when I get back, I'll be grinding all that down, making it super smooth, and we won't be putting gel coat over the top, because apparently you don't really need to, because everything else is coming down from the gel coat, and we're going to be barrier coating everything, and the barrier coat will do what the gel coat does as far as protecting the fiberglass, hopefully. So hopefully that will be good. And then you can see I had to cut in, put new zincs in this right here is not a zinc. This is the heat sink, and these are the zincs for the fridge boat refrigeration. And here's a new through hole. And I put a through hole there for the Watermaker. And there's a lot of debate about this, but because my friends, I don't want them to not drink my coffee. And everyone was really worried about having the intake be on the same side that the dirty bits come out. So apparently when I look at water making videos, they say that it doesn't really matter, that you can make water right out of a septic tank, and that if you're going to break the salt away from it, it's at a molecular level and you'll get by everything. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. my friends won out. I don't know that their science is correct, but it made them feel better. It was also a better spot. So I put this right here. I'm just waiting for the through hull to put in, and it will have a, you know, the cage in the front, so it'll be kind of like a ram induction there when we're underway. Because like I say, I anticipate that when I go to make water, I'll probably be making water for probably, 12 to 24 hours at a shot. And if I only run one pump, I think it draws 9 amps, so that shouldn't be an issue. But anyway, that's it. That's all I got. So I gotta take a shower. You can see anybody that's done boat work knows all about this stuff over here. Oh man, yeah, and that all grip, it's $120 a quart, and this stuff isn't cheap either. These are all the pieces that we had to cut and put in the arch up. Let's see if maybe the welder can turn them into rocket launchers on the there. That might work out pretty good. But that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry I didn't give you more. I've been thinking about it. There are so many of the YouTube videos that do, like Sail Life, where they're the DIY videos, and those guys are so good at that stuff. You don't need me to show you what I'm doing. Everyone else does it better than I do it anyway. So hopefully we'll do other stuff. But now I just want to give you an idea of what we're doing. So now I go away for 3 weeks. I come back and we'll do the copper coat, and hopefully we'll get that right. All right, you guys take care, be safe, and as always, I'll see you on the one.